cmpradio.net. It's the station.
All right, everybody, welcome to cmpradio.net, the wonderful world of Rich Blye. All right, I told you that this was going to be one of those fantastic segments where we bring you the relevant news, where we cultivate the maturity and the positivity and bring you the relevant news and events that happen in Chester and in all of Delco. As usual... Oh, that's all right. That's all right. We still there? All right. Hold on. Let me get everybody up to speed because I don't know what's going on with Facebook. Oh, let's get this up in here. Hold on. Let me get this volume down. Let's get this shared out. Hold on, my friends. Why they got me in a live chat? Are you crazy? Let me share this thing. That's crazy. Anyway, for all those that are not seeing this broadcast on Facebook, please go to YouTube in the live chat. I'm going to try to see what happens and see if I can get some of my friends in here and see who's in the YouTube world, but I doubt it. At any rate, we're going to go ahead and get started. The wonderful world of Rich Blye, airing to you live. This segment usually covers 7 p.m., but right now we have a very special guest, Mr. Charlie Alexander from the mean streets of Broomall, sitting over here to my right. We're going to get into it, but before I do, as you all know, I always start off with prayer and scripture so that way we could be covered from the spirits that may be set against us. And according to the word of God, what I do for my faith is that I say a prayer and I also read scripture. But in my supplication before the Lord of hosts today, I ran across the book of Nehemiah. Now, I've heard about the book of Nehemiah and I've read certain things, excerpts, scriptures or whatever, but I haven't read the book of Nehemiah. And I'm thinking that tonight I'm really going to get into it because the scripture that I'm going to read is also Nehemiah's prayer. And I will ask that of myself by reading this scripture. Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 5 through 11. Nehemiah's prayer, and said, I beseech thee, O Lord God of heaven, the great and terrible God, that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments. Let thine ear now be attentive and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray before thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel, thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house has sinned. We have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgments, which thou commandest thy servant Moses. Remember, I beseech thee, the word that thou commandest thy servant Moses, saying, if I transgress, I will scatter you abroad among the nations. But if you turn unto me and keep my commandments and do them, though there be word of you cast out unto the uttermost part of the heaven, yet I will gather them from thence, and I will bring them unto one place, unto the place that I have chosen to set my name there. Now these are thy servants and thy people, whom thou hast redeemed by thy great power and by thy strong hand. O Lord, I beseech thee, let now thy ear be attentive to the prayer of thy servant and to the prayers of thy servants who desire to fear thy name and prosper. I pray thee, thy servant this day, and grant him mercy in the sight of this man, for I was the king's cupbearer. Let's get right to it. I'm not going to give any explanations. That's my confession, and that's my supplication before the Lord of hosts for the blessing, because we have to get rid of this negative energy in order to prosper. And we have to understand that the only way that we're going to prosper is that we cast out this negative energy. A lot of the negative energy that we've been seeing lately is in our own townships, in our own counties and cities. So the reason why Charlie Alexander, how you doing, bro?
Hey, how's it going, Rich?
What's going on here? Nice to meet you too. This is the first time me and this man have met in person. We have had conversations, messages back and forth. We've watched each other content. We have our own ways of going about our businesses, of bringing the truth and relativity to Delco from different corners, different aspects, different points of view. And I'm going to say this once. I've been deprived of my freedom of speech in Upper Darby Township. And people sat back and watched it. You watched them strip me of my First Amendment rights to speak. And this is why I had to come to Chester to cmpradio.net in order to speak again in a black city. So when someone tells me, or anyone feels as though that somebody doesn't have a voice, I'm going to remind you of my brother, Brian Sharif Taylor. Deceased, United States Army, retired. Everyone has value. Everyone has value. You may not like the value. You may not appreciate the value, but the value is going to be on display and it's going to be spoken, because from a personal standpoint, anybody that wishes to tell me that somebody can't speak, I'm going to let them speak, because that's what my brother did for me. He made sure that these tyrants didn't hold me down or hold me back for 5 years. Now he's gone and my voice is back, and it ain't never going nowhere. It ain't never going to get shut down. And I'm never going to stop speaking the truth to light. And I'm never going to stop bringing relevant people onto this show to bring you the culture, the positivity, the maturity, the news, and what's going on. So, Charlie, let's get right into it, okay? Let's talk about the fact, first of all, Charlie stepped through Upper Darby, streets of Upper Darby on Long Lane. Yeah. Came through, ain't check in with a brother.
You know, that's my bad.
Didn't even check in with me.
I was trying to be as incognito as I could.
Oh man, the streets gave you up, bro.
You know what's funny? I didn't even think that I was going to step on the toes that I stepped on. Mm-hmm. I was just looking at the daycares because everybody was up my butt about looking into these daycares, which I will tell you, Delaware County Pennsylvania does not have the problems that Minneapolis.
No, not at all.
Has. Not at all.
Not at all.
These daycares are all legit from Chester all the way out to Upper Darby.
Yes, they are.
I went all around.
Yes, yeah, they are.
Just so happened I started noticing these empty storefronts that are all home health care businesses. And they're everywhere. And they are in every town.
Yep.
In the less fortunate areas of Delaware County.
The poor, impoverished black and brown communities.
Exactly.
I'll say it for you. I'll translate that, bro. I'll translate that. Don't worry about that. We can talk. We're going see, I'm gonna tell you something at cmpradio.net. As long as you're not using those slurs, bro, speak.
Amen.
Okay. I'm very serious about that. That's the problem. That everybody wants to be PC.
No,
everybody
PC's,
PC's out the door.
That's communism.
It is. That's out the door. This is why people don't talk to one another. This is why people want to stay away from one another. This is why people promote that red, blue, white, black BS. You know, they promote that because you got to be afraid to speak. You in Chester, bro. Speak your mind.
Amen. So I started noticing in these neighborhoods, in these poorer neighborhoods all throughout Delco, why are all these home health care centers, they're all closed, all their phone numbers are out, but if you check the online listings, it's an active business. So what's going on here? And then you look into it, and there's government money that comes into these types of businesses. Now, I can't prove that until I start filing right-to-know requests, which we're working on right now. And I have started with the main one in Upper Darby to find out, does the Upper Darby Township still pay the rent in 436 Long Lane? 436
Long Lane. Isn't that Councilman David Banto's office?
That was his office, according to the Delaware County Daily Times, until 2024. Right now, it has a home health care center stickers all over the windows. I mean, you can't see anything else into the inside unless you go to the door, other than this home health care center, which is a registered business, Royal Home Healthcare, and it's owned by a Mr. Pobe who keeps threatening to sue me.
Why would Mr. Pobe want to sue you just because you're looking at his business that's not open?
He claimed that I was slandering him to a couple of people that he met on the street, who then texted me about it. And all because all I did was I made a phone call to the business's phone number right in front, went live on, as you saw, right in front of that business. And that wasn't even my main. I wanted to actually just joke about the name of the daycare across the street, but I mean, that's what ended up being the real hit there.
Right.
And then Mr. Banto starts talking about me during a council meeting in Upper Darby. And I laughed because, I mean, he tied himself to it right away. And I had no idea at the time until yourself and a couple others spoke up and said, that's his former office.
Yeah, because it's been a series of, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this man has stated that his office was personal, for personal business. I know at one time, because like I said, I talked to him. He was the community liaison in the 6th district. It was him and another person that was going up for this position, and Mr. Banto got it. Now, I'm not here to disparage him. I'm giving up facts. I'm just giving up facts. Mr. Banto became that liaison. I want to say this very clearly and say this very plainly. In the 6, I am still the 6th district champion. And most of the people in the 6, unless they're connected directly to folks in the government, get their information from me.
That's where I first lived.
Yeah.
Was in the 6th district.
A lot of people don't understand. They don't understand. Tell them about Stonehurst, man. Tell them what Stony really is, bro. Tell them what it is.
It's a great neighborhood.
It is.
It is, number one, if you want to win as a politician in a county-wide seat, you need to carry Stonehurst and Chester.
Yep.
Because if you don't, you ain't winning.
You ain't winning.
If you don't want to door knock those two neighborhoods, that's where you are carried throughout Delaware County.
Yep.
Hate to break it to you. I mean, that is, I was born there. I'm Springton Road. That's where my family lived when I was born. My grandfather's shop was right up the street on Garrett Road. I mean, my family, we spent, I mean, my whole childhood, we used to work HUD jobs.
Right. Now hold on, Charlie. See, I want to put this in the context. How old are you right now?
I'm 38.
Okay, so you're 38. So we're talking about how long ago?
So between 1998, I would say,
Okay.
'cause I was about 11 years old then,
Okay.
through 2012, I spent my time working with my father during the summers, usually, I mean, as early as 11, painting doors in Stonehurst, because we'd be doing the HUD jobs, uplifting the community.
So again, you are a person that's around a predominantly black community, seeing, observing, understanding, talking to, dealing with, seeing the good, the bad, the destructive, seeing some of the promise in some of the kids. You've seen this in that time period, because I want to say to people, I moved to Upper Darby in 1999.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. So you say you're 11. Obviously, I'm older.
Yeah.
I moved here with the same premise of safe neighborhood, quiet neighborhood.
Yeah.
Literally, when I moved to Upper Darby, people say, "Oh, it's bad over there." My street was quiet. It's not now.
No.
It's not now, but it was quiet.
I'll tell you, it was safe through probably
Chitwood.
about 20.
Chitwood.
And Chitwood did. He
Chitwood.
kept it safe.
Chitwood.
Now, there was instances, and you couldn't do certain things, like my dad's rental properties when I was a kid.
Right.
They were in Stonehurst. And he took advantage of that time. There was very cheap homes that were being sold off. I mean, if you remember, they were going as low as $10,000
Yep.
for those homes. And my dad decided that he was going to take advantage of that and start purchasing them. And he rented out to, I mean, countless people that have become friends over the years with us.
Right.
But you couldn't collect rent at night. I mean, that wouldn't be a smart idea. Towards, I would say, the 2008 through, when we hit that economic crisis,
2008 through 2012.
I would say things didn't, it started to get a little south in Upper Darby, where it wasn't as safe as it was in the years prior. And then, I mean, I was a victim of one of these crimes. I had my back windshield shot out by a slingshot, which was crazy because I didn't even know what the heck was happening. It just so happened to coincide with the day that I was, my grandfather shut down his store on Garrett Road in 2012. And so I stopped going to Upper Darby after that. My father and I were doing 2 different jobs in Stonehurst, and a shootout happened in between where I was working and he was working. We were just on other ends of Copley Road in the alleys, and a shootout happened right in between us. And my dad was like, you know what, maybe we just stick to the other towns in Delco now. Yeah. And the other parts of Upper Darby. And we stopped working down in that area because
you didn't want to risk your life. No,
unfortunately,
like, see, and this is what I want people to understand. I'm a victim of a attempted assassination. Okay, I'm the father of 2 murdered sons. Okay, this is not a color thing. No. This is a mental health crisis in all of our neighborhoods. Your community too. Yeah. His community is, he, like he says, you're from the mean streets of Broomall. Yeah. A lot of people have slept on the county, thinking that, hey, the county's sweet, blah, blah, blah. The police aren't. Mess with if you want to. Yeah. But a lot of people have come through the county and done certain things through this county. So it's everywhere. There's no borders for this. Oh. The same way that there's no borders for this corruption. So getting back to, saw you went on the live in Upper Darby. I was like, all right, you can check in. What made me have you on this set was that you didn't check in the Chester either. and I was like, whoa. I was like, hold on, Charlie.
I got a phone call.
Yeah, hold on, Charlie. Because, even I'm gonna tell you right now, even I as a black man, right? Mm-hmm. I have to walk my steps in order in certain communities. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't take my blackness for granted with a lot of people. Yeah. Okay? I know that there's differences. Mm-hmm. and different situations and points of views and perspectives can be taken a certain way without context.
Oh, amen.
Okay? And Chester is one of those cities, bro. So I was like, no, hey, Bryce, what? My man Charlie Alexander, you up here talking, da-da-da. He's saying a couple things, some things good, some things not so, blah, 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 image, or whatever. He said, have him come stop by. And that's how we got here.
Yes.
That's how we got here, to put it in proper context. At cmpradio.net, what we want everyone to understand, including yourself, is that Chester did have a very negative image.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? A very negative image. There's nothing that we can say about that image except that that's the image that was. Where Chester is right now, and this is me from the outside looking in, this is me going to the stores and shops, I don't know what they did with Vittles and who messed that debacle up, but these restaurants and everything need Chester support for real. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Chester this summer did something very phenomenal for its youth juvenile crime, for crime overall, and made a little history with with the appointment of the first female black commissioner, police chief here in Chester, which I think is definitely a needed change because number one, she's from the community. Number two, she can have conversations with folks. Number three, there's a higher visibility and a higher percentage of people that have a great public perception of public safety now that she's aboard. CMPRadio.net was one of the first nonprofits to start with Fusion Fridays. Mm-hmm. Chester had morning programs for these kids, afternoon programs for these kids, evening programs for these kids. And then Mayor Stephon Roots sealed the deal by imposing that curfew. Yeah. And it worked. There should have been no complaints this year. And I've said this to Mayor Stephon Roots myself personally. If you follow that pattern that you just helped create by letting these nonprofits run free in their own community and support them with the resources, they're going to flourish. They're going to take care of those cracks that you can't fill. Yep. They're going to take care of the person that's getting left behind. They're going to be able to bring more people into their associations and help it grow so that now that the government can concentrate on things like streets, concentrate on public safety, concentrate on these things, while the nonprofits are empowered to do what they do best, reach the people.
Amen.
Instead of going all around Delco where you have government entities stopping this person because you don't like them, stopping this group because you don't like them, stopping this person because you don't like them. But there are people out here that love us and need us. Amen. So I just wanted to make sure that I gave that perspective of truth. Chester's moving in the right direction. Yeah. And we wanted to bring you on and welcome you into this upwardly mobile atmosphere that we got going on, Charlie, because Chester needs to rise.
Amen.
Okay,
when I was running for county council, one of my platforms that I did not, because I ended up in that lawsuit instead, get to talk about, now I did record a bunch of videos on it,
right,
is how we uplift Chester. And we've talked about this at a few times now,
right,
where this is Upper Darby too, because both towns need this, in my opinion. And then it needs to spread to Eddystone and other places around as well. What you need is community centers funded by our government. When you build these community centers and you attach them to police departments and you make sure that the policemen that you're hiring in these neighborhoods, they come from the community, because then they take that stock way much more. You know what I mean?
Right.
They have an invested interest. This is their community. And what you do is you find a strong man from that community and you put him in charge of that community center.
Right.
And you know what happens? You uplift the community because that man now has a vested interest in these kids that would otherwise have turned to crime.
Right.
And what you do is you set up community center events for the night. When you have these curfews, well, you know what? You have a football game on a Friday night between two community centers from the neighborhoods, and you have basketball games and you have wrestling matches between these on Friday and Saturday nights. And instead of people being out in the streets, they're in that community center cheering their friends and family on.
Right.
And that uplifts the whole community. And this is the type of thing we need, and we need to get back to, because it used to be that way. If you think back to, I mean, you want to talk about Make America Great Again. Well, in that era where they, like, the MAGA folk think about the 1940s through the 1960s and early 1970s, I mean, on Friday and Saturday nights, people were at football games.
Right.
They were at basketball games. They weren't sitting on their couch at home.
Right.
They weren't sitting on a street corner doing things they shouldn't be doing.
Right.
No, everybody was out and about in a community setting. When you build a community, you make a safer community.
Right.
And that's what's been needed all around Delco, frankly, for a very long time.
Well, see, the thing about it is that, and this is my opinion. We've lost the value of family.
Amen.
Family is community.
Yep.
When you don't have a family community in your own home, you can't be part of the community. When that dynamic isn't from the home first. See, we have a lot of people running around here, and I kid you not, this comes from an experience, this comes from a period of growth, okay? Because I can say humbly, I was just like a lot of other people, but I grew out of that. When I got the knowledge to grow up, when I got the knowledge to do better for self, to do better for my family, I did. You know what I mean? I didn't waffle on it. I didn't blame myself. I didn't point fingers at anybody or nobody. I didn't say, oh, this person's fault that I'm not getting anywhere. Even if it was somebody in my way. I went around you. I went underneath you. I went by you. Or if it was definitely blocked, then I stopped going that way because there's other alternatives. And I've learned that in life. I've learned it in life. I mean, sometimes we want the thing in front of us, but sometimes God hands us something that's just as capable of what we want to use the same way. And a lot of people aren't satisfied with that. Community. I'm going to take a different tack. I think that in certain black communities, that it should be less government involved in the buildup of community centers. I believe that the government can build the community center, but they should not have a direct influence in how it's run.
Oh, 100%.
Okay? If the program is working and the resources work with the program in conjunction to the mandated charter, whatever city, township, municipality, or whatever, let them run with it. Here's the problem that I have.
They need to fund,
Yes.
not have their hand in.
So because you brought that up, here's the thing. Upper Darby has brought the POW back.
Yep.
Okay?
One of my friends is running the wrestling program there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Do you see the sponsorship tiers?
I have not, actually.
Okay. So we can't fund POW. We got to put up these sponsorship tiers. We got all these businesses complaining about where do we send these kids? Where do we send these kids? Where do we send these kids? Where are the corporate donations from? Why do we always have to go to the pockets of the people?
Shouldn't.
No. And see, like I said, first of all, it took 5 years to get it back.
Yeah.
Okay, that was part of the problem during COVID. That was the part of the problem before COVID, is that POW was stripped out of Upper Darby. These kids had nowhere to go. Mm-hmm. Okay, these kids turned into drug dealers. Yeah. Because at the time, like I said, during COVID, and I say this to everybody, I was driving for Lyft and Uber. Okay, and I smelled and people want to talk about, oh, you don't know. Let me explain even further. I'm from Philly. I'm from down north. My family's from north. I grew up in Brickyard. I'm from Germantown. And I got family that's been in the game. And I know people that's been in the game longer than some of you been born. I know a pack when I smell one. Okay? I know a pack when I smell one. And these bulls is getting in my car. These kids, all during COVID. This is why for that brief time you heard these kids pulling up when they put school back in and they were getting shot.
Yep.
That very brief thing, because those kids owed back these dealers that money. Yes, they didn't flip them packs like they were supposed to, and they thought it was going to be cute. They thought COVID was going to be forever, and they thought that people was going to forget a drug debt.
Yeah.
And so your kid wound up getting shot. People talking about no explanation. We don't know why it happened. Oh, we know why it happened. These kids was carrying around drugs, turning into little drug dealers, and during COVID, and they was flipping these packs as everybody was smoking all the weed that they could, and this is the byproduct of it.
Yeah.
No one has looked at that Families First study that was put out by Mary Gay Scanlon and Delaware County Council that showed the effects and the decrease of our children in education, in health, in every standard during COVID. They put it out themselves.
Yeah.
Hold on. The numbers are accurate. The numbers are absolutely accurate. So nobody can say, oh, the Republic. No. Like I said, this was put out by Mary Gay Scanlon. Yep. This was attended by all of the teachers and not teachers, all of the principals, vice principals, community leaders in, what was it? Wallingford? Yes, in Wallingford. And they gave everybody a free booklet with all of the studies that they did in comparison to the studies. And while you're looking at the news, they're sliding this package under the door and it's telling about how they failed your children.
Yes, they did.
And hold on, and they put it out there.
Yeah.
They put it out there.
Proudly, by the way.
Hold on, very proudly. It was a full house.
I remember that.
There was over 50 people in the room. You had your dignitaries, you had your elected officials, you had your Delaware County Council, and you had everybody who's an educator and everybody with the name of, doctor in front of their name or behind their name, whoever. All these important people, and, you got the street guy. And they all looking at me like, why are you here?
I remember you being there.
Yeah. Why are you here? Because we're talking about children. Yeah. We're talking about the children of Chester. Oh, because the study in Chester is much worse.
Yeah.
But when I talk to parents or they see my program or they talk to me in the street, first thing they want to do is talk about political affiliation when I'm talking about your child's health and welfare. You talking about, your association with these type of people, blah, 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 because of this, because I don't like this person. But when I'm telling you about what's going on in your community and how you getting robbed, you don't pay no attention to that. When we put it to you in black and white, you don't pay no attention to it.
That's why they divide red and blue. That's why the Delco GOP and the Democrats, the Delco Dems, they're one and the same. They're on two sides of the same coin. They split Delco in half, and they are just robbing us all blind. And we just, instead of focusing on what's important in our lives and coming together as one group of people, we let them divide, and they're conquering.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the money goes to them.
So, Charlie, hold on. I'm going to put this in perspective because a lot of people don't understand the difference between the GOP and being Republican. To me, in my opinion, it is not the same.
No.
It is not the same.
Nowhere near.
So, can you briefly, give your perspective on that?
So, the Delaware County GOP is the Republican Party that basically descends from the 150 years of Delaware County control under the Republicans, right?
Right.
But these people that currently control that GOP, they are for themselves. They are self-serving. They make sure that they line their own pockets. They'll tell you if you become friendly enough with them. They will sit there and they will regale you, as sure I know you've heard the same stuff I've heard. And they will regale you about how they line their own pockets and they think they're going to groom you to be like one of them. Unfortunately for them, I ain't that way. I don't think about my own pockets. I think about my community first because that is what's more important to me. The health, welfare, and safety of my community. And that means all of Delaware County. That doesn't mean Broomall. It doesn't mean Marple Township. It doesn't mean Upper Darby. It means all of Delaware County because that's what we need to care about. Because you're only as strong as your weakest link. So if Chester and Upper Darby are failing, or if Essington or these other towns are failing, guess what? So is Broomall, so is Havertown, so are all these other towns, and it just drags everybody down with it. That's why you need to uplift everything.
Mm-hmm.
But the Delaware County GOP, they play with the Dems. They're friendly with the Dems. When the Republicans of this county push back on what the Dems are doing, the GOP stays silent. You would think that they'd be there right in the forefront, fighting with the people that align allegedly with them politically. But no, they sit and they stay in silence because, as I've always said, it pays just as good to take second place in Delaware County as it does first place. Mm-hmm. And that's the God's honest truth.
That's the God's honest truth. And I want to second that because, Charlie, I've been around some of these individuals. Mm-hmm. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't want to play this game. You know, I don't want to play this game anymore. No. I don't want to play this facade. Not that I played with them at all. Mm-hmm. I was always me. Yeah. I was always this. I was always honest. Case in point, the Ridley March, the first one. Mm-hmm. Okay. A lot of folks do not understand or know that I was part of that conversation for that Ridley March. Okay. Yeah. I was with Kyle McIntyre, now the council person.
Yeah.
Diamond Gibbs now on.
Did you like his outfit for the?
No comment.
I'm thinking about getting it's the same outfit.
Nope. No comment. But Kyle McIntyre, Diamond Gibbs with UDTJ, Carol Kazim before she got elected as the representative. How you doing, Carol? How you doing? Happy New Year to you. Before she got elected with Delco Resist and several other members of Delco Resist, myself with my brother Brian and a mutual friend of ours. And we sat around and we discussed this. Like these discussions aren't anything new. No. It's just that certain people feel as though that the narratives have to be controlled when it's not anymore. All these things that are happening are organic, and they need to be discussed in that way, out in the open, because we got too much of this backdoor stuff going on.
Yeah.
In Upper Darby Township, we got a lot of backdoor going on and the shuffling of power down there when the most tenured council person, Danielle Blackwell, is the most tenured person. But they skip over top of her, and they went right back to being the good old boys club.
Yeah.
Okay? Hold on. Laura Wentz, Barbara Ann Keffer, several other people came in there to change the dynamic and get it to be where you saw the diversity.
Yeah.
Okay, you saw the diversity. And after one more election, it's all these dudes up there. It's a whole sausage party.
It's the good old boys.
Okay,
club.
It's the good old boys club again. It's just the other side of that coin, the black side. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's absolutely Animal Farm.
Yeah.
It's absolutely the book Animal Farm. And we're watching it develop between our eyes. And then you hear people disparage the people in the community, their constituents, the taxpayers. How can you be that nasty when less than a month ago you were, oh, I need you to vote for me. Oh, can you vote for me? Oh, can you vote for me? And then the day after you get that seat, you disparage a veteran.
Yeah.
And then, hold on. People said, oh, the mayor should have. No. That's not the mayor's responsibility.
No, it is not.
That is not. I want to put this plainly. The councilman should have said, excuse me, sir, I apologize for that. What you can do is that you can go onto our website and you can go down and see through our bios who's on here. I apologize for that, sir, because you're talking to a 45-year career Marine and former law enforcement officer that has protected this community. Yeah. And regardless of what you like about him personally, he earned that rank.
Amen.
Regardless of what you like about him politically, he earned that respect, not only amongst his fellow members in the Marines and armed services, he also earned that respect amongst his law enforcement people that he has lives that he's protected. And then the disparaging remarks that you made about his family and not understanding that, you know, his wife is Hispanic, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the fact that his daughter has to hear this type of stuff that's being spewed. This is why we have to separate all this backdoor stuff and bring it to the people's face in the forefront and say, we're not going to tolerate this anymore. Yeah. So that's what I want people to understand about the difference between the GOP and the Republicans, okay? Everybody knows, I've already said it, I'm a Republican. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. I have my own history with the Democratic Party has nothing to do with Delco. Has nothing to do with Delco. And I mean zero to do with Delco. I don't care what I don't care, because you're going to be you and I'm going to be me. All right? But I'm always going to deal with you in truth. So as long as we get along in the spirit of truth, there should be no problem.
Amen.
I'm not taking from your household. I'm not diminishing you. I'm not destructive to anything that you got going on. But because you don't like what I represent personally, you want to try to knock me down. This is why we have to have you on the show, Charlie. So again, the perspective of truth. What are you seeing from your point of view with the GOP and their lack of accountability in helping the Republicans of Delco achieve initiatives where they are not being pushed out because nobody's being strong and supportive? You know, they're not. Why don't they come to meetings? Why isn't representatives coming to meetings themselves? Why is it the citizens like yourself, like myself, have to go up here and deal with folks when that's the positions that they're elected to, you know, within the party? They get the money. They get the money to have the time to pay for the gas, to pay for the real estate, to go and do these things. Your name is on the letterhead.
Yes, it is.
Our names are on the letterhead.
I don't make any money.
But your videos have been used. My videos have been used
To push their agenda.
And without compensation, may I add.
Yeah. You want to hear a funnier one?
What's that?
So this goes back 2 years ago. So when I started, April of 2024, I think, is when we got introduced. It was around the time of that meeting that they had in Wallingford that you were talking about. I, number one, wanted nothing to do with politics, as you know.
Right.
I didn't even want to handle what was going on. As many know, it had to do with Don Guanella. The building's there. I had gotten too good of a tip where I had to, because we're protecting people's jobs. Right. I had to keep it quiet on who gave me this tip that they wanted to stick thousands of people in those buildings, the county council. They even flaunted it in our face. When I went to the first meeting, what was his name? Kevin Madden said he wanted to call it Nation of Immigrants Park. And he literally just was sitting there smiling at me because he knew that he was just flaunting it in my face that was what they really wanted to do. Now they were putting on the front that they wanted to make it a mental institution for the criminally insane, which is an insane thing to do when you want to put walking trails there for women and children. I mean, so either way, like, let's just face it, not a good idea to use, especially when it was going to be low security. Like
minimum security.
Minimum security, but the criminally insane. And you want to put them there. And it was laughable. The whole thing was just laughable, and with no fence. I mean, the lunacy of this whole thing, and it was a Trojan horse. And so I went into the GOP office because I'm thinking, all right, these are the people that are equipped to fight this. I don't know Scott want to fight in anything politically. I never had. And so, I mean, now I had an idea because I took political science in college, and I studied that. I got to master's classes in that in college. So, I understood a good deal of it, but I never put it in action. Right. So I go to the GOP office, and there's Michael Straw, and there's Megan Wagner, and they basically tell me it's not a big deal and that I need to just let it go. And I go, let it go. There's a whole community that's in danger with this. I'm not even asking you guys to do much. Just post my video or my article to give it some credence, because most Republicans at the time thought that I was lying. And then it wasn't until that meeting where Kevin Madden said that, and then they came out with, hey, we're going to put a mental institution there, where people started to believe me. And then I continued going into that office and asking them to come to meetings, and they wouldn't even come to meetings until, you know what? All of a sudden, there's cameras there. CBS 3 came to the Marple Township meeting, so Althea Goodwin was there all of a sudden. Then we go to the county meeting, and also, my favorite was Val Biancaniello comes running in acting like it was her show at the Marple Township meeting, and the people told her, to sit the F down because Charlie Alexander's the one who's going to handle this for us. And at that point, I really wasn't like, I didn't even want the show to be
about you,
about me, or me being the front face of this.
Can I tell you?
What's that?
That was the fuse that lit that right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the fuse. I believe that once the people had decided on who they wish to represent them at that moment,
yeah,
I think that was what lit the fuse.
Oh yeah,
is that the people had lost faith in leaders, and here's what I'm going to say to leaders: if people lose faith in you, look at yourself.
Yeah.
I'm serious. It's like, it's not because anything says anything against you, because I can tell you right now, the people who look at me as a leader, I haven't lost them. I haven't lost those folks, and I thank them, and I appreciate people thank me for what I do so much, and especially veterans, man. Like, I'm really humbled behind that. Like, I don't look at that as something, oh, I could make some money over a grandstand. No. I'm humbled by the fact that people see the love of what I want to do in community. They see the love I have. But I don't want to play the BS games. That's the whole thing that I tell folks. I can do this. Yeah. I can be personable. I can help. You know what I mean? I get along well with everybody.
Yeah.
I don't want to play any games.
No.
And I don't want you to play games with me. And I don't want you to talk to me as though you felt as though I was stupid, or I don't come from an educational background, or I don't understand certain things when it's put in front of me. So this is why we have this show, because a lot of people need to see the intellectual side of a community.
Yeah, amen.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of times people want to, do things and showcase it in a way where it's like, ooh, sensationalism. You know what I mean? We're not here to be your sensationalists. We don't entertain, okay? We don't entertain. We inform. If you want to be entertained, there are so many different avenues for that garbage that you can go right ahead and you can get your fill of that swill. But when you come to cmpradio.net, and we have concerns for the community, and we have outlets for, different types of constructive ways of releasing pressure and stress and talking about maybe funny issues or whatever, but it's done in a way where it's continuous and it builds, especially with our youth. With the Cutoff Show and everything, you got to check out our segments, man. We got a lot of great people here.
Now, I will say, I do entertain with my videos because I know it'll get more
yes, let's get to that. Let's get listen, man.
But real quick though, back to what we started with though with the GOP.
Yeah.
I had the conversation with Frank Agavino, right? Mm-hmm. And I said to him, "You have no visibility on social media. Mm-hmm. They literally have a podcast that's topped out at like 150 views. By the way." They pay $2,500 a month for that podcast. $2,500 a month. I've checked their financials, and they get maybe 150 views if they even record it that month. Uh-huh. And so when I went in and I said to him, "Hey man, like we have an opportunity here to bring back the Republican Party to control Delco so that we can fix things." Mm-hmm. And his answer, and I said to him, "I'll run your social media. Pay me $1,500 a month, or let me do it for free. Whatever. I don't care. Whatever you want to do." I said, "We'll figure it out." I said, "But if you let me control your social media, I'll paint this town red." And his answer to me was, "I have Dan Cuellar, and we run our podcast."
Dan Cuellar?
Yeah, Dan Cuellar.
Oh!
And he told me that we need to stay away from immigration. We need to stay away from all these other conversations
Dan Cuellar!
Even Democrats agree. Listen, you go talk to the people that vote Democrat in Upper Darby or Chester, they know that they're getting screwed out of their community resources because of the immigrants that have been brought in to replace them.
Yep.
I mean, you go to any park and you're going to find people sleeping in them because of, unfortunately, they've been pushed out of their homes because they lost their Section 8 and lost out other different resources. And you know what he says to me? He says, "Abortion is what we need to talk about here at the county level." Number one, the county has nothing to do with abortion. There is no laws that the county is going to do about abortion at all. It is a state rights issue right now in the United States of America. Because of this Supreme Court ruling.
And the county will say that themselves.
And they'll tell you that.
They'll recuse themselves from that because, again, it's not their purview, and that's what I want a lot of people to understand. When people put things up in front of you and say, "We got a champion for this, we got a champion for this," no, you don't. Mm-hmm. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because it's not in your purview. It's not in your family. I'm sorry. Yes, you have rights. You've been given certain rights, and you have that right. If you wish to get an abortion, you go right ahead. Hold on. You go right ahead. Me, I'm against abortion. Okay? I'm against abortion. But here's the thing. I'm not against you exercising your right to get one.
But here's the thing. And this is what drove me nuts. And I'm sitting there looking at the man. I'm like, you're the chief strategist of the Republicans in this county, right?
Uh-huh.
And you are going to stake your hat on the most divisive issue that pushes women away from your party.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what you think is good, like, political messaging?
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there going, are you kidding me? And I realized in that moment, I go, oh, my God, he's in on it. Like, he is literally pushing people to that other side. And I never wanted to run for election. Like, let's get that straight.
Mm-hmm.
People started telling me I needed to.
Right.
And that's where I got the idea. And if I didn't get sick, I would have, number one, I would have put in the effort. As you know, we had talks, me, you, and Paul Ann. Mm-hmm. We're going to walk around and knock on doors because that's what's needed to win. Yep. And I still did it as sick as I was, and I still do because I work in Upper Darby all the time, as you know. Mm-hmm. I talk to people as they pass by as I'm cutting lawns.
Right.
I'll sit there and talk to everybody.
I think that's what people need to understand about you, Charlie, is that you're not some fly-by-night guy. You're not just some nondescript white guy coming in and stirring up trouble. You know what I mean? I think that's what a lot of people need to understand and get because, again, people feel the same way about me. Oh, who's this black guy speaking? And where did you don't understand it. We've been busy in our community for a number of years.
That's what I've been doing for
This is just one of many shirts that I got. You know what I mean? This is one of the many symbols that I wear. When I put this hat on, is to remember my father and remember my brother, and the fact that the pins up here are from the conflict and the battle campaigns that they came out of. Yeah. That's why I put this on. Yeah. Not because I'm trying to be something or invoke a personality that served in the military. Yeah. I'm remembering my brothers and my father by wearing this hat. I'm remembering my father who served in Vietnam, 66, 67, Da Nang. Mm-hmm. I'm remembering my brother who served in Iraq.
God bless them both.
You know what I mean? And the fact of the matter is that they're both going on, but their spirit and their Americanism it lives through me. Yeah. And I know everybody don't like that. I don't care if you like it. I don't care if you like it, but there's some people that absolutely love it. There are some veterans that absolutely are supportive of the fact that I love these veterans and I want to do whatever I can as a civilian, because I did not serve. As a civilian, I feel as though it's my duty and my honor to help those, especially, like, we got a lot of the World War II veterans, you know, it's time for them. Their time's fading out now. Yeah. Okay. What people don't understand is
one or two of them left, if any. You know?
I happened to meet the gentleman when he was out at the Drexel Hill softball league. Okay. About 2 years ago? About 2 years ago. This man turned 100. Yeah. And he fought in the Battle of the Bulge. And I forget his name, and I'm sorry that I forget his name, but everybody gonna remind me of his name because I got to see this man. He got another birthday coming up, and I saw his great grandson. He's like, his birthday coming up. He talks about you, and it was an honor to meet him, not because of his age, but because of where he served. Yeah, Battle of the Bulge. Yeah, you know what I mean. You're touching history, but the most important thing about that, when I went over to him and I introduced myself and I said, "How you doing? My name is Rich Blye. I'm the commander of the Sons of the American Legion, Post 214. I want to say thank you for your service, sir." He said, "Did you serve?" And I said, "No, sir, I did not serve, but my father served in Vietnam, 66, 67, Da Nang." He looked up at his great grandson. He said, "Stand me up." And I'm looking at him. I said, "Sir, no." He said, "No." He said, "Stand me up." And he was adamant about it. And that man saluted me. God bless. And when he told me why, I know this is why I'm on the right path with what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. He told me, we didn't treat the Vietnam veterans right.
No, we did not.
your father didn't get treated. He didn't even know my father, but he knows the story of how Vietnam veterans were treated. Just the other day, we were up at Delaware County Council in the council chambers, and they were having a second book review. I'm gonna say this: if you don't come to these veterans book reviews and be a part of the veterans experience, you are losing out on a lot of creative writers and a lot of historians. If you're in the mood to hear some actual truths about veteran life and how they're ready to embrace you and be a part of you, you got to really get in touch with your Delaware County veterans, military and veterans affairs. Also, you need to get close with your American Legions and your VFWs. Yeah. Okay? Chester has lost theirs.
That's a shame.
And it's a shame because it was known as the all-black post. I know those veterans are still here. I think the building still kind of stands or whatever.
The building still stands.
Yeah, the building still stands, but it's a shame.
It's in disarray. And
this is what I'm talking about. How are we supposed to fix a community? There's a community center right there. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? There's a community center right there.
You have that museum that's owned by Delaware County that's shuttered and it's just rotting. And that was the first time I had come in contact with the women of Chester, right? Mm-hmm. I was at a Delaware County Council meeting. We're fighting them about whatever we were fighting them at the time.
Right.
And they were there saying, can you guys at least cut the trees off the roof?
Right.
Like there's trees growing out of the roof of that building.
Right.
And I then, because they talked to me outside, they were like, listen, we want to know what you're talking about, and we want you to know what we're talking about. And so I did, and I went right away, and I drove right down to that building at the Shang Park, and I took a look at it, and I'm like, wow, it's a beautiful granite building. But our council, instead of making that something that brings wealth to the community, that brings attention to the community, that beautifies the community, they let it rot, just like they're doing with Don Guanella. Because they're doing the same thing to my community because they want to lessen my community. That's their goal. They're doing the same thing to my community in Broomall that they're doing down here in Chester because they would rather these buildings rot. And there's another few buildings they own in Chester, throughout Chester, that they just want to rot because it is their prerogative to bring down the community. They can fix these buildings up. They have the money. They have the resources. I know for a fact, because I've seen video of it,
right? And
I never released this because I don't want to go after the employees of Delaware County and lose them their jobs. But our Delaware County Public Works office, because of Danielle Floyd, who does not belong being in charge of our public works.
Okay.
She doesn't live in our community. Our community's jobs, our county jobs, belong to people that live in our county. And unfortunately, this council, because their prerogative is to steal from our community, they're giving jobs that are high-paying jobs to people outside of our community that, number one, she does not know what she's doing. She does not know how to operate a public works department. And I've worked for public works departments.
Okay.
She does not know how to operate one. They have these men, when 12:30, 1 o'clock's done, right after lunch, they're done for the day. They waste 3 to 4 hours of every day. They're done. They ride golf carts at each other. They're done.
Wow.
You go look for a Delaware County Public Works employee after 1 o'clock. You're not going to find one. You'll see them out before then. You won't see them out after then, unless they really have to get something done. And that's our tax dollars at work. They could be fixing these buildings up during that time. I mean, you think about how many hours that is.
So let's go back. So were these buildings purchased under the new Delaware County Council, or has this always been under the purview of Delaware County Council as an entity, even going back into the GOP party?
Mixture of both.
Mixture of both. So
it's both of their prerogatives because it's the same political elite. They are the same.
So they had an opportunity prior to the Democratic Party coming into power doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'd love to.
I want to make that. See, this is the thing. I don't want this to be a thing where we're putting all of the blame on one.
No,
I want it all.
Oh, it's shared.
Okay, I want
it.
I want it all. I want it all because that's the problem. Everybody, what about? We're not going to do whataboutisms. No whataboutisms. I believe that government officials who used to sit on a corner and drink a 40 with you, or sit back and throw back a couple Budweisers and Michelob Ultras with you, all of a sudden get into a position and forget where they come from.
Yes, they do.
That's the problem that I have. Not your red and not your blue. I got a problem with people that I know that I ate popcorn with inside of a theater now sit up here and look at me and tell me that I don't have the right to speak.
Disgusting.
Okay? Where did you get off in being able to think that you could put a crown on yourself when I was one of the people that made sure that your campaign got votes? Listen, bro, I was out there in the streets with a lot of Republicans and Democrats.
Because you're for the people.
Because I was for the people. Hey, Rich, you know what I mean? I'm for you. You're going to see what I do, da-da-da-da. I'm going to say this. I'm going to be very, very, very honest. With the exception of what Taylor Made Vets had done for itself and put itself in a position in Delaware County, with the exception of what I did personally with Juneteenth and the Jace coming and learning it here from Miss Sylvia Myers here in Chester and how to throw the celebration in order to bring it to Delco, because I came to Chester first. But I keep telling you, when anytime I want to learn something, I come to Chester first. It's the first city.
It is.
Okay? If you want to learn something about Delco, come to Chester.
What Chester makes Chester.
Chester. And people look at me like I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not stupid. I'm very, 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 very smart. And I understand functionality. And I understand the significance of history and who's connected to the history. Finding out the who's who. Speaking of connections, man, let me get back to this. Dan Cuellar, the former guy from Channel 6.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So he connected to Frank and him?
He runs the podcast with Frank.
Oh,
That's their podcast. It's him and Dan Cuellar.
You know what?
And Dan Cuellar's got the friggin' personality of
a brick.
Yeah, you said I didn't mean.
No, I'll say it. Yeah. Listen, because see, I'm gonna say. See, I'm gonna tell you why I'm going back to Dan, and I don't care if people love him for being on Channel 6 or whatever.
He does do a nice Christmas light. I don't know if you ever seen his Christmas lights.
I could care less, bro. I could care less. You know why I could care less? And I'm gonna say this. Dan knew what I was doing with Juneteenth.
Yeah.
He watched me from the start.
Mm-hmm.
And Dan had an opportunity to help me. He did. Okay?
Yeah.
All he had to do was just give me a good interview.
Yeah.
Just one. Just one.
Didn't. You know why? Because it's not their prerogative.
I know. Hold on. They thought that this was going to be a flash in the pan. I'm going to tell you what they thought. I'm telling you. They thought that this was going to be a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
And then they thought that, we can take it from them.
They love taking things.
Oh, listen. And guess what? This is why I say that the black man is back. This is why I'm telling people that with Juneteenth, I'm not striking no bargains. Okay, I'm not going to be overlooked with the history that I went out and got and provided.
They love taking things from people.
Listen, man. They ran with the Juneteenth thing for the past 2 years. I was like, when I tell people, like, oh, were you part of what happened up in Rose Tree last year? No, I was there for the first one. I sat at the table for the first one because I thought that this would, be a continuance of something that we could do, but. Again, when you're a person who loses 2 sons to murder, you lose your father, you lose your mother, you lose your grandmother, you lose your spiritual mother, and your favorite firstborn cousin, all in the space of 4 to 5 years. That happened to me. Oh man, like people don't understand
that crushes and destroys.
I now suffer from post-traumatic stress.
I can only.
I suffer from compounded grief syndrome, bro. Yeah. I don't know who I'm crying for most mornings. Yeah. I'm serious. I have to, and I share this publicly on Men's Mental Health Day. It's always a Monday. It's never just going to be for a month. Yeah. Mondays is Men's Mental Health Day. Okay.
Number one, it is not a thing that people even care about.
No, they don't.
If you go, like, I survived cancer,
right? Ringing the bell, Charlie. That's what I'm talking about, man.
God bless. So I went looking for a men's support group because I was told, you got to go join a support group.
Right.
There is none.
No.
And you can't join the women's support groups, and they literally will tell you you're not welcome.
Yeah, because see, I want to say this about men's mental health. So you see the ungodly murder of that poor woman, by her, estranged husband in front of the kids in Upper Darby. Okay, awful. The best thing that family did was take him off life support and let him go to wherever he needed to go. And prayers for those children that are going to have a lifetime of therapy and support and dealing with what they saw and dealt with. Also,
and our community should be supporting that because there is so much that goes on in this. I mean, in this county. And I won't share my own personal family's struggle with that.
Right.
But there should be funding. Instead of how much, I mean, you and I both know, that family court sucks a ton of money out of the pockets of Delaware County.
That's another topic. You want to talk about that, bro? I can pull the receipts.
We could do a whole show on that.
Oh, can we?
And so can I.
Oh, man, we could do a 1, 2, 3.
I haven't seen my nephew in 8 years. And my brother wasn't the one that started. We won't even go there. You want me to?
No. You are more than welcome to come back on the show, and we can absolutely
we'll talk family court.
Listen. You want to talk family court? Oh,
You want to know the Charlie Alexander origination story?
No, let me hear it.
It's the family court.
Of course,
they took the most important person out of my life. Somebody I was helping to raise, and took him out of my life because of a politician.
Yep,
a Republican one, by the way, a GOP scumbag that was related to my brother's ex. That's how you create a Charlie Alexander and get somebody that speaks up in his community, because they took a very important person out of my life, and I decided, if I don't start speaking up, it's just going to get worse and worse. Because I went through that. Then I went through COVID where they took my voice off of Twitter.
Right.
Where I was making money off of Twitter.
Right.
All of a sudden, I was canceled because I didn't get a jab. And then I get chased down in the streets of Philadelphia because I didn't know that you needed a Vax card to go into a restaurant. And I get chased down. Kind of sick shit. Like, I'm going to talk about 1984. I'm sitting there living it, and then I go and I decide, if I don't start speaking up, this is what's going to go on. So I started to become more vocal. Started talking things on social media. Noticed friends were disappearing, and then all of a sudden Don Guanella comes about.
Right.
Well, and then you don't have the support from the GOP to circle all the way back around, where Frank Agavino basically tells me and just gives me lip service saying, oh, we'll help. After the news cameras show up, after we bring 350 people to a council meeting, that's not the GOPers. That was 350 Delaware County citizens went to that council meeting.
Yep.
That's why we stopped what happened at Don Guanella. Because they'll tell you, oh, well, the Marple commissioners or this person or that person stopped. No. The pressure we put on that council.
The pressure from the people.
Exactly. And they always love to discount it. You'll hear it from Val Biancaniello. You'll hear it from Frank. You'll hear it from Dave Galuch and all these others, right? They'll act like they did it. No. Charlie Alexander and the people of Marple Township and the people of Delaware County, we did that. That's who did it. And I don't even want my name involved in it, but that's who did it, not them.
So similarly, and I'm going to touch on, you just gave your bout of what made you spurred you with, family court and everything like that. In Philadelphia, that building is named after Juanita Kidd Stout.
Okay.
She was the president judge of family court. And imagine her being on the bench when I'm trying to get custody of my child. I got the president judge.
Yeah.
She turned some stuff off record, went off record on me. Oh. I kid you not. And listen, people say don't disparage the dead, but I'm talking about what happened to me in my experience and my living with this woman. with my daughter Tanisha Monique Roberts. Okay, and she's been on this show, and she'll tell you, I got the president judge in Philly for my custody hearing, and this woman went through me like a hot knife through butter about my character, how I wasn't this, how I wasn't that, and I'm like, woman, you don't know me, but you going off what other people are saying about me. What do you mean? And I had no defense. And I watched as people battled me for my child. That I'm supporting. Hold on, not only just child support, like supporting.
Yeah.
And literally wanted to erase her out of my life. That's when I started speaking up. Yeah. The other thing in Upper Darby, like you said, politicians. Yeah. When I was going for Juneteenth, I went through, like you said, you went through your people, you went through the GOP, you went through the GOP, right? Yeah. Okay, so in the black community, we all know that when you have a project or something like that, you got to go through the Democrats. Yeah. So I went to the state representative's office.
Tim Kearney?
Oh, no, Margo Davison.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Margo Davison, absolutely. I've signed in the book for anybody want to know. I'm signed in the book. So when anybody wants to disprove or discount me of any meetings I had with any public official, I make sure that I sign into the book with the date so you cannot discount.
I should do
yes, you should. Yes, you should. Because people cannot say you were not there.
Though I do take selfies when I'm there.
That's fine. Selfies can be altered in this day of AI.
That's true.
But inside of the official state books, inside of their official records where they have to say that they gave you constituent services, you always sign. You don't never go into that office without signing. I don't care if you go in there and say, hey, I'm having a lunch date, I want you to attend. Sign your name in the book. So when they say, oh, we didn't know about that. You didn't have a meeting. We didn't tell you about that. Hold on. I came here this date at this time to talk about this specifically. And this is how I get with my public officials because they really want to play with you like that.
They do. They love
it. They love it. That's why I come in the way that I do. Someone taught me about
this. I wish you would have done.
Listen.
Because I tried to get Mary Gay Scanlon to help me with something a few years back.
Mary Gay Scanlon said that she was going to get me help after my father died. And said that even though that I was on the opposite side, I was still a constituent. Yeah. And that this is what she actually said to me. Even though I'm on the other side, I feel your pain and trauma about your dad. That's when she took the picture of me up here in Chester on Knife and Curling. Okay. That's when she took the picture of me shaking her hand. Because I'm a gentleman. I reached over to this, the senator and said, hello, Congresswoman, and said, hey, how are you? Respectfully. You turned and flipped that photo on Facebook and tried to make it something else. Yeah. And that's what pisses me off. I was being genuine. Yeah. I was like, Mary, I lost my dad. He was a Vietnam veteran. And I thought she was feeling compassionate. I really did. Yeah. I thought she was and she went to one of her aides and said, take his number. And I'm speaking just like her. Take his number. And we're going to get him some constituent service with his mental health. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, damn, cool. So everything I'm hearing about you ain't a total B, blah, 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 blah. Man, they took my number. Next thing I know, my phone been hijacked ever since.
You want to hear messed up what she did to me? And I should have signed in. You're right. Mm-hmm. I didn't think about that. So I created a case because something happened on the stock market, right? That I was involved in. I had mathematical proof of how money was stolen by Sam Bankman-Fried from the stock market. Now, he didn't just steal from cryptocurrency. We all know he stole from cryptocurrency, right? And he was funding the Democrats.
Right.
Well, he also funded Mary Gay Scanlon, too. And so I create this case. And I do have email proof of all this.
Right.
So I had to email everything in after I visited the office. So I email everything in. I wait a month. Never hear anything. Call them back up. We have no proof of your case, though I have a return email from them. So I send it back in. I wait another 2 weeks. Never hear anything. I call them back up. They don't have any record of my case. I go, this is odd, because I have your return email again. Mm-hmm. Send it back in. Waited a week this time. Boom, they did the same thing to me, and that's when I went off, and I started yelling at them. This was like 2022. Mm-hmm. And I 2022 or 2023. And I go, I have proof here. I go, I want you to go over my case today and let me know.
Right.
They get back to me within 10 minutes after getting it, telling me, oh, we don't deal with cryptocurrency, and shut me down. Wouldn't even listen that it was about the stock market.
Right.
And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm done with these people. And this is what they do. They will literally, if it goes against their interests, they will play games with you until you just are fed up and you walk away.
And this is what I'm talking about, like with the men's mental health. A lot of people watch this statistic, right? In the black community, there are more boys being born than girls. Okay? The reason why the disparity happens is from the age of 18 to 25, we have more black boys dying.
Yep.
So now, over the age of 25, for every one black boy, there's 7 women.
Yeah.
Now, by the time they reach 30, that number triples. Because from 25 to 35, you lose another group.
Yeah.
You lose another group. So now it's 14-1. So by the time you in your 40s, what are we doing? We cannot have these divisions no more. So when you come to Chester, bro, like I'm gonna say this very plainly. I say this to Dave Galuch, I say this to anybody else, and they know it. When you come to Chester, you come be part of Chester.
Amen.
You come put yourself and immerse yourself in the culture of Chester. Chester is very, very welcoming.
Yeah.
Okay? You can't get that in Upper Darby, bro.
When I walked down the Avenue of the States, every business owner welcomed me.
Yeah, hello, how you doing?
I got video of that.
Yeah,
I mean,
hello, how you doing?
I was videoing the buildings.
Yeah.
That was my intention, was to show how beautiful that. Number one, why no politician, and there's a politician as his office right on that street, right? Why isn't he pushing to fill all those vacant, empty business fronts? Because guess what? You fill all that, you uplift Chester. You give them tax reasons why they open a business right there on that street. It uplifts Chester.
It uplifts Chester, but it also uplifts the people of Chester. And the people of Chester are predominantly black, so you'll be uplifting black people, and we already know how that works.
No, they don't want to do that.
That's the last thing they want to do.
And that's the Dems and the Republicans.
Both of
And
them.
people need to wake up in Delaware County and say and realize that they do. Michael Jackson said this. They do not care about us.
There you go, Charlie.
They don't.
See, here's the thing. And I want to say this for Charlie's folks, because a lot of your friends are my friends.
Yeah.
Okay? And I want to say for this folks that are my friends, please understand. We're the nobodies. Okay? We're not rolling around here in trucks and Jeeps and nothing like that. We're in economy SUVs. Okay? We're paying our taxes. You know, we're taking care of our lives. And while we deal with our mental health, we have a lot of fun with it, with the videos and stuff like that. And I want to get into that. But Charlie, where do you come with this inspiration with the glasses, man? Back down. Listen, bro. I'm sorry. Listen. I'm not even mad at you with the accent, Joe. You know they're gonna be mad at you for that, right?
I got called a racist multiple times.
Listen.
I posted one of them on my Facebook stories
People
last night.
have to understand something. We as citizens have something called poetic license when it comes to the Constitution, and as long as it's not personal and it's generalized, because some of y'all in your corners, and I'm gonna say this specifically about the LGBTQ community as well, y'all make jokes at people's expense too. Everybody makes jokes at people's expense. You do it in your languages. You do it in some of the phrases that you use. You try to hide your racism by, deflecting and making a joke and then bringing it back and playing with words. So guess what? We live in the age of reality. Go ahead and tell me about that segment, bro. Because I laughed my tail off. I really did.
So I'm surfing Amazon and I get suggested these glasses. I'm looking at them. And I'm like, number one, why were they even suggested to me? It blows my mind. I have no idea, right? So there was like 14 of them in this little package for $10. And my idea was, well, number one, because what I was purchasing was stuff for my GoPro.
Right.
I needed a new memory card for all the stuff that we're doing right now.
Right.
And so I was like, you know what? It would be pretty funny if I purchased these and wore them while I'm out in the streets. Mm-hmm. And then I hear this, and I'll call him Mr. Banto. He's a jerk off.
Okay.
I heard him talking about me and acting like I'm endangering the lives of people and the businesses in Upper Darby.
Yeah, that's I'm trying to wonder that too.
So no, number one, how am I endangering anyone when I'm just showing that if you call this phone number, it's disconnected?
I want to know how you, as the random white guy, is causing danger in Upper Darby on Long Lane when where you were at, there was a whole
shooting right across the street in that daycare.
Yeah. Hold on, wait a minute. And not only that, there's a whole township camera on the pole right there. Yeah. That street right there, in that exact spot where you were at, is one of the more safest areas, including for the drug dealers that operate behind, that former 7-Eleven. Yep. Okay. It's very safe. It's very convenient. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's very convenient. They got a camera right there. Mm-hmm. So they see because it's one of those 360 cameras. Yeah. So they see everything at all times, 24/7, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. So did you approach somebody?
No, I didn't even talk to anybody in the neighborhood. Okay, actually, I talked to Jake earlier in the day.
Jake, absolutely. Listen, Jake been there forever. Shout out to Jake Custom Cycles. Yep. Did you have a brick in your hand?
No.
Did you have a Trump sign?
No.
Did you were you screaming ice, ice, baby?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you know what I did? I went right out of my car. Uh-huh. I called the phone number. I recorded it on my GoPro. Mm-hmm. And then I replayed it on a live stream on Facebook from the GoPro. And then also made a joke about the name. If you don't know the name, it's Kids Come spelled K-U-M. Uh-huh. Which, I mean, wild that anybody puts their kids in there, especially after the shooting, right? Mm-hmm. And then I go in and show that live, and I left the neighborhood. Yeah. And continued on my day. So then I got these glasses. Mm-hmm. And I was joking around wearing them while I was out doing my investigations into the daycares, which, by the way, I will say it again. Stop with the daycares. That is a Minnesota problem. That is not a Pennsylvania problem.
No, listen, Charlie, listen. I'm going to say this, right? What people are understanding is that we, the people, now have to be the journalists. Yeah. Okay? Like I said, you got many people out there doing their thing, doing it their way, I've done it my way. Okay, I've had a lot of controversy the way that I did it. Yeah. I mean, I was pulling out trash from over by the cemetery. Yeah. Okay, I was showing up, and
you and I both know about a cemetery in that neighborhood.
Oh
too.
Yeah, listen. There's a lot of stuff that people aren't prepared for, and there's a lot of stuff that people don't give a doggone about, Charlie. No, they don't. I'm gonna tell you like this: they don't care, bro.
Unless you show them and you take their it's like taking a horse and sticking his head in water.
Can I tell you the night and day difference between the rest of Delco and Chester?
What's that?
Because Chester is a black city, it's not predominantly a black city. Yeah. It's a black city, okay? And Chester needs to stay a black city. Okay,
they are trying to replace the people of Chester. You and I both know.
We both know it. And
the people of Chester need to wake up and realize the Dems are going to replace you. And they're going to do it in Upper Darby, as they're doing in Upper Darby.
I told everybody to pay attention to Upper Darby. I told them that Upper Darby is the model. And this is why every time I talk about Chester being a black city, it's no offense to any other nationality. Chester's a black city. You moved into a black city. Mm-hmm. It's a black city with black elected officials, with black people with businesses, with black people who own homes, with black people who have foundational historical connections to Chester, the first city. Yeah. Okay? And it needs to stay that way. Diversity is not your tag because diversity is not your friend because as soon as you become diverse, that means anybody can come in and take your inheritance. They can say, well, I'm now from Chester. You're seeing this all over the place where you got a lady running for a public official in Texas talking about she's more Texan than the black woman who grew up in Texas. Imagine somebody else coming from a different city, from a different area, running for a seat here in Chester because they lived here for 2 years, and they tell you they more Chester than you.
Like David Banto?
Oh, man, listen.
So let's get back to why I wore what I did.
Yeah.
Number one, I come from the generation that grew up with Wayne Brady and
South Park.
And Dave Chappelle and South Park.
Yes.
Those are my 3 biggest comedic influences. I've watched, up until about 2 or 3 years ago, I watched every episode of South Park. I just don't watch TV anymore.
Right.
If I did, I'd still be watching South Park, and I watch still a lot of clips from South Park. Chappelle Show raised me. He would dress up as a white man and make a white accent. We are allowed, and let me get that straight, it is not racist to make fun of anybody's accent.
Nope.
Hate to break it to everybody.
Nope.
It is comedic gold, in my opinion. And when you want to... So, Mr. Banto went on a diatribe about me at a public meeting, acting like I made Upper Darby less safe. Which, let's be real, the current council and the current mayor of Upper Darby, you are the ones, and I will say the police commissioner of Upper Darby, that have made this town less safe. Mr. Chitwood, he retired because he saw what was coming and he wasn't going to be able to do his job anymore. He made that town safe.
Yep.
He made sure there wasn't people taking shits in broad daylight, which I didn't show people the video of, right in front of the AT&T building, the old AT&T building, right? On Long Lane. Like, that wasn't me just saying I'm guessing that that's human shit.
Right.
I watched it. There's a homeless man that sleeps right there 24/7. It's a shame. Because if they had the community resources that Mr. Banto and the rest of his friends should be providing to people like Paul Ann Sabatini, there wouldn't be a man taking a shit right there on the ground. He'd be in a homeless shelter that he desperately needs. Now, I got those glasses.
Right.
And I saw the one that was a clown, and I'm like, this motherfucker is a clown. Because that's what he is. Sorry for my language, but he's a clown.
It's all good.
And I'm like, you know what? Let me speak how he wants to hear me speak. He thinks like he's going to sit there and act like I'm endangering Upper Darby, where my grandfather spent years uplifting that community. My grandfather used to fund 69th Street baseball.
Listen, everybody, and I keep hearing this a lot. And I'm going to segue into this. I keep hearing this a lot. A lot of guys who moved from out of the Stonehurst area funded the AA Park activities.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Stan and Sons General Contracting
Hello.
always had a team that was named after it in every level of 69th Street baseball. That's what my grandfather did. He funded it. He had all the plaques in his office. I wish we saved all that stuff.
Right.
I mean, that was the funny thing because he kind of said that I wasn't even from the community. So that's why I posted a picture of me playing 69th Street baseball in 1992 on Facebook. That wasn't by accident. I wasn't reminiscing about how cute I was in a little T-ball outfit.
Right.
No, that was to me to say, Mr. Banto, I've been there a lot longer than you, buddy. I've been a part of that community, and I was an active. My employment was in Upper Darby.
Okay.
Until like 2021. My dad ran rental properties out of Upper Darby. So I ran those rental properties for my father, for my family, up until 2021 when my dad saw the writing on the wall when they fired Jeff Gentili and they fired, what was his name, Matt Verdi from the health department. My dad was like, they're going to turn this town into shit. And I better get out of here, even though the rent's going up. But the rent's only going up because let's get back to another important issue. And if you are African American, you need to understand this. The Democrats are replacing you. They are quite literally taking the Section 8 rent, which they jacked up, by the way.
Yes, they did.
That's why rent prices have gone up, because they're getting more from Section 8. And they're not giving Section 8 to African Americans anymore or white people anymore.
Nope.
They're giving it to the illegal immigrants.
Yep.
They're giving it to the people they plan to replace you with.
This is why you're on a waiting list.
Amen. This is why I find African American and white people sleeping in their cars in parks, because they have been replaced in every single one of them. And I have hours of this, Rich, of me sitting in Nailers Run and other parks in Upper Darby where these people are sleeping in there.
Yeah.
And I have hours of this footage that me and my brother, I'm watching muchachos and muchachas throwing, fiestas, that if you or I did that, you know that Timothy Barnhart would have, boom, came and just shut us down right away. But no, you even seen the picture of them that I put out there of them attaching jumper cables to the power lines to steal electricity so they can run their Fiestas.
Yep.
But meanwhile, they would have came down, or you and I, if we ever did anything like that, where they're selling alcohol, the Liquor Control Board would have been right up our asses. But they're allowed to do it because they plan on replacing you. You have to understand that.
Listen, when they first got here, they were selling food everywhere. On the corners, everything. And the health department
doesn't care.
No, the health department, when I was trying to throw festivals and have food trucks and everything, and they came out with their their application in order to do a permit, these guys wanted everybody to list their food ingredients. I said, what does that have to do with anything? They're a bonded business. They have a menu. It's none of your business as to what they put in the food. All they have to do is account for is allergies.
Yeah.
Okay? All they have to do is let you know that there's egg. All they have to do is let you know what type of the bread is made from, blah, blah, blah. But you don't get to know what kind of salt, pepper, paprika, thyme, blah, blah, blah they put in their stuff.
No.
And then people were giving them their stuff, and I got these complaints from people that put in. They was like, hey, somebody took my recipe and I saw it online. So I said, yeah, because you give them too much information.
Yes, you do.
You give them too much information.
And then it becomes public knowledge and anybody can take it from you.
Oh, you want to talk about public knowledge? Yeah. And we're going to end this segment real quick because, we got some other stuff to do. But I'm going to say this. The youth prison is reopening.
Is it reopening?
Yeah. And guess who's on that board?
Who's that?
Your boy Kevin Madden.
Oh, is he really?
You ain't know that?
I mean, this is how
you
should
that?
understand this about Delaware County. They put themselves on boards because pensions come with those positions.
Yep.
Benefits come from those positions.
Yeah.
That's why you have my favorite one of these, and they have this in Chester, and it just started in Upper Chichester, right? And they call the one in Upper Chichester, instead of being the Chester Water Authority, being the Upper Chichester Water Authority, no, because this one plans on spreading. It's called the Southeastern Pennsylvania Water Authority. And they are literally taxing you for it to rain. And people, unless you stand up and say no, this should not be going on, they are going to continue because they've taken enough of your tax dollars already. Listen, our founding fathers, they started this country over a 3% tax. And you people just let them raise your taxes 50% on the county. They let you just let them now go into your pockets for, I think it's $65 a year. And that's going to just continue going up.
Yep.
And guess what? The people that put themselves on that board, they're going to get benefits out of it.
Yep.
They're going to get a pension one day off of your dollars. Stop giving these people your money.
Hold on, wait, this is not the best part. This is not the best part. You know what the best part about this is?
What is that?
It's that they're putting in DJ booths, bro. No, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. Listen, it's going to be 3 DJ booths in this thing, man. And now your kid is going to rap his heart out about his trauma, pain, and misery and everything like that. And guess what? He going to use that AI soundboard. So guess what happens to that music?
It becomes a part of their money-making schemes, doesn't it?
Because it'll go to somebody's family member in the record industry, and next thing you know, while your kid is locked up, you're going to hear something about this kid's favorite rap song that you heard him doing on the streets, now on the radio wave someplace else, down south or wherever, blah, 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 and somebody else singing that song because they use AI now. He doesn't have no rights.
Because he's in prison.
No rights.
Because of the 13th Amendment, right?
Because of the 13th Amendment. And guess what? Because AI, once you use AI, it is not yours.
Modern day slavery.
Modern day slavery.
Same thing if you go to the Netflix. You know about that?
Yeah.
If you go to that Netflix house in King of Prussia, do not go to that.
Yep.
They are stealing your likeness and image for you entering.
Yep.
And they can use it in movies.
Yep.
They can use it in other disgusting ways too. Do not go there. Like, this is... AI is going to go way too far, way too fast. But that prison that they're doing that, I mean, this is the stuff they do. You know, Kevin Madden makes money. I mean, hand over fist. Do you know where he's from? He used to work for Credit Suisse. You know what that is? It's one of the largest, one of the largest banks in the world, one of the largest money makers. They got some of the most money on our stock market.
They built themselves off of the backs of American slavery too.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. See, when I tell people that I'm around people, the way that I grew up, I grew up around wealth. Okay, I grew up around. When I say I grew up around wealth, of course I came from a row house, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But what my what my grandmothers, what my grandfathers did, they were already active in the community. My grandmother was on the board for the OIC when the OIC was created with the Reverend Leon Sullivan.
Okay.
So I've traveled. I've traveled with my father. I've always been around people of wealth. Okay. I used to work for Martin Fields, who had the old Adamark Hotel.
Yeah.
He had several other properties. I got to meet Dr. J. I got to meet a lot of sports stars in my youth because I was always around wealth. So there's a personality around wealth.
Oh, yeah.
There's a certain aura around wealth,
which I wasn't ready for.
Right.
So, number one, I grew up in my grandfather's store at 800 Gary Road.
Right.
I mean, that's where I was babysat from when I was little.
Right.
I mean, we're talking it literally, there's a picture of me in the newspaper in a car seat in my grandfather's store. From then, I mean, my parents moved to Broomall, grew up in, and I joke, it's not the mean streets of Broomall. I mean, they're soft. Let's be honest. Like, they're the softest streets in all Delaware County. And I grew up in Broomall, and I end up going to Cardinal O'Hara, which was one of them schools where it was very tribal. Got bullied a little bit. I mean, that also helps Charlie be the person that he is today.
Right.
Not a little bit. I got bullied a lot of bit.
Right.
And I wanted to transfer out, and originally I was going to go to the Haverford School.
Right.
And I got waitlisted, but then they accepted me on the first day of school, and I was like, I'm going to stick with O'Hara this year.
Right.
And out of nowhere, Episcopal Academy comes knocking, and I go to Episcopal.
Right.
So I transfer in there. I ain't ready for the people that wealthy. That's a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to school with CEOs' kids.
Yeah.
They look down. I was proud I was on a scholarship, right? Like, I'm on a full ride. My dad ain't paying crap.
Right.
My dad paid more for me to go to O'Hara. And then I'm sitting there like, and people are like, "You're on scholarship?" Like, they got their nose up at me.
Yeah.
I will say, my first day of school was brutal there. And I chose just to stick with my friends from home.
Right.
There was one girl that at the end of the day, I was nasty to her too, because like I thought she was just gonna be like the rest of them. One of the wealthy kids was like, "Hey, I want to be your friend," and I was like, "F you!" Like, no, you don't. Like, you're just playing with me like the rest of them. Now she was legit.
Lost opportunity, but again, it's that environment. Because, like I said, I'm a guy that went to a D-Sec school.
Yeah.
By rights, in some people's eyes, I should hate white people.
Yeah.
Okay, because of my experience.
Yeah.
But what they don't understand is that I wasn't built for hate, number one.
No.
And number two, because the way I was built, because I already had these experiences around being around white people, I had these experiences already. I already knew how to navigate. Now, not to say that it didn't hurt. Absolutely it did. But I knew how to navigate, like I know how to navigate now. So a lot of people think that this is well rehearsed, or this is just, I'm putting on the air. No. I keep trying to tell people I have the ability to create a thought in a second.
Yeah.
Okay. I
are both quick, very quick-witted people.
I don't have that problem. And that's just because, again, what I do with my life is I don't watch television.
No, neither do I.
Okay. I don't watch TV.
I read.
I don't waste it on any wasteful energy. Okay. I stay at home. Yeah. Okay. I'm not out in the streets. So I get to absorb what happens around me, and I get to look at it from a different perspective. And while I absorb that energy, I know how to transfer it back. I know where to transfer it back. Yeah. And since you guys gave me 2 years off, guess what I've been doing?
So that's the funny thing, like what you were just saying. Like, people think I hate black people. That's what I'll hear from like these people.
I heard that.
I saw it on Facebook. Like, I keep getting it from this woman Arnetta and this other woman, Leah, and that I hate African Americans because I called out Richard Womack for his taxes. No, you are a county council member first and foremost. I don't see color. I don't care.
Right.
And you got this county council. You're on the county council raising people's taxes, and you're taking homes from little ladies and other people. I mean, mainly people of color in Delaware County.
Right.
You're taking their homes for tax reasons, and you haven't paid your taxes? You had a tax bill at one point that was over $90,000? Come on. That's not being racist.
No.
That's being real.
Right.
And that you're not calling them out and you're giving them a pass because of the color of their skin, that's racist.
That's racist.
And then you got this other side of things, right? I call out David Banto. No, I didn't call David Banto out because of the color of his skin. I called him out because he raised the flag himself. He's the one that said, "Oh, Charlie Alexander is endangering my community." When all I was doing was calling out that there's this front here, and then he brought the attention to himself. I would have never known he had that connection. I would have never have even contacted you about David Banto.
You would have never known about The Office. You would have never known about the picture that was in the Daily Times.
I would have probably given up on that front
and found something else better to do. And found something else better to do. But a hit dog hollers.
Yeah.
Okay? A hit dog hollers. So, again, where it got political for me was, and I'm going to say this in Upper Darby, and I'm going to leave it at that, was with Sikh Sadiq.
Yeah.
I had my mother and my father, and we were supposed to introduce a resolution to make Juneteenth, proclaim Juneteenth. Yeah. And this is back in 2018, 2019. So, okay, he's got it up on the agenda, and then something was going on, and he decided to pull back and say, I don't think, and I'm using his accent, I don't think at this time that it'd be good for you, Rich, for you to do this, and I feel as though that we need to put this away for another time. This is what he said to me in front of my mother and father. Mm-hmm. And I said, the devil's a liar.
Yeah.
I said, how much longer can we wait? And when he canceled that at that moment, I went in. And I kept coming back. And so that's when I found out that he was a tax thief.
Yep.
That's when I started.
He's not paying his taxes.
He's not paying his taxes. Okay.
And here you are.
And here you are, a naturalized citizen here on the dime of what my father did for this country, my grandfather did for this country, my great grandfather did for this country. Here you are on their dime, telling me that I can't have a resolution for about a day in the history of Black Americans, and then everybody told me, we don't want to hear this black stuff. We don't hear this black stuff.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah, hold on, John. Watch this. You know the most help I got, besides my brother who brought me onto the radio station, not only to congratulate me for doing the thing that I did, but to help promote me. Other than that, I did not get a lot of help from Black people. Now, I got my help from white people, Vietnamese people, Greek people, Italian people, Jewish people, okay? All of the people that you see on my page, everybody at one point in time, Gene McNally, all these guys, they all supported.
By the way, they're attacking Gene McNally.
I saw that. I saw.
That's sick, ain't it?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Because he supports me and you. The Republicans are now attacking Gene, who's a good Republican.
Yeah.
They're claiming things about him that are completely untrue.
Well, listen. Everybody can have their say on what's it, the 20th?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody can have their say face to face. I'm gonna be there. And listen, I'm gonna say this to everybody that is Republican and GOP. If you're not there, and I'm not plugging the place where it is, you know where it is, you know what time it's going to be, you know it's a breakfast. Make sure you're there. Make sure that you have the same bravado on Facebook and in text messages and messaging. Make sure you bring that same energy, because I'm gonna be there in that room.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be there in that room because a lot of you got a lot to say, a lot of laughing and giggling behind people's backs. Oh, we know who's talking about who. Yeah. See, this is what y'all guys aren't realizing. We're not the children anymore. Okay, this is from 7 years ago. We're not the children anymore. Some of you have lost touch with reality, and some of you have lost touch with the base, and some of you have lost touch, period. And we're taking these spots. We're not asking. We're telling. We're the lions. We're hungry. We're roaring.
Now, can I talk about Juneteenth real quick?
Go ahead, bro.
So, and this goes to the people that are mainly Republican that push back on this holiday. Mm-hmm. And I know it. Some people say it possibly is systemic racism. It's possibly a bunch of things. But what I really do think it is, and we talked about this, I think it's, you saw that Columbus Day was taken from you. This was taken from you. The statues were taken from you, right? Mm-hmm. And these people, because that was taken from, somebody else can't have something now. So they do that with Juneteenth. You'll see the Republicans get all upset. Number one, we don't celebrate Proclamation Day, right?
Right.
Which we should have. I mean, that should have already been one too.
Right.
It should be a national holiday. The day that was made, it should be one of the most important days because then we literally became a better nation.
Mm-hmm.
But no, let's actually celebrate Juneteenth because it's quite literally the day everybody became free. It's when those soldiers marched into Texas and they freed the last people that were still being kept in slavery. This isn't some racist holiday that, like, they act like it's like Kwanzaa. You know what I mean? Like, where it was, like, forced on you from, number one, Kwanzaa was never really the holiday they act like it is anyway. But, like,
Right.
they act like it's that, and it's wrong. It's actually, I think even Trump's the one that installed it, correct?
No, Trump talked about it before Biden became
President.
Trump said, and people took this the wrong way, don't forget where you came from.
Yeah.
Okay?
And they take his words as you and I both know.
They took that the wrong way. What I got from it, I know what everybody else got from it, was exactly what it is. That was a precursor to him having an admonishment the way that Juneteenth is celebrated. So this is the conversation that I have with Republicans. This is the conversation I have with Democrats. This is the conversation I have with black people. This is the conversation I have with everybody else. Mm-hmm. In order for people to understand and respect Juneteenth, you have to understand Juneteenth is 2 parts. Yep. Okay? It is a 2-part celebration. It is a ceremony first. Yeah. You must pay respect to the veterans that fought for your freedom. Hold on. Period. Mm-hmm. When I say veterans, I don't say black.
No.
I say veterans from that war. Because before the United States colored troops got into any conflict, the war was already on with a whole bunch of group of people, with a whole bunch of nationalities from a whole bunch of different places elsewhere other than being an enslaved black or free black man or whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay? So a lot of people died.
Yeah.
Now, where the United States colored troops comes in is because they became the heroes and saved the day. What they do is through a reenactment is show that appreciation for their brothers and comrades that died before them by giving them a ceremony of honor and tribute.
Amen.
Okay?
Yeah.
Once you give that, now you have a story about why we do this.
Yep.
We do this to honor those who fought for your freedom so that they are not forgotten. It's just simple as that. You do the Star-Spangled Banner, you do the Pledge of Allegiance, you have that ceremony, and then you dismiss the ceremony. Yep. Okay? Now, celebration, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
The celebration, you can put as much African garb on you want. You could put as much Hispanic garb on you want. You could put your Greek garb on you want. You could put whatever you want as long as you're celebrating freedom.
Yeah.
As long as you understand what you're there for. Okay?
The freedom.
Right. At the celebrations is where the politicians talk, not at the ceremony.
Yeah.
Okay? It's just like Memorial Day. It is not your place as a politician to speak. If you are granted the opportunity to speak, make sure you remember what you're there for and who you're there for. You're not for you. Where Delaware County messed up is that they were having voters registration drives on Juneteenth, and we couldn't vote on Juneteenth. So why are you having a voters registration drive? You had, I'm dead serious. You had churches that were out there and vending and stuff like this. And the black women was like, that's not Juneteenth. That's not Juneteenth. You got politicians on the stage talking for endlessly for hours, and people are like, where the entertainment at? And then when you get the entertainment, where the black entertainment at? And then hold on, and then you cancel it. You cancel it last year without warning, and messed up people's vendor schedule. Because you've refused to open up an almanac to make sure what time you have something weather related in June when it starts to get hot. But I didn't know, hold on. But I didn't know what I was doing. I got kicked from the table, bro. I got kicked from that table. I got kicked from it. And everybody knows who's involved.
Yeah.
Everybody knows involved, and it was black and white, and it was Democrat and Republican that were responsible for me getting kicked from that table, but not this year. Not this year. Not this year. I want to do whatever it takes to make sure that the veterans experience is talked about, and I'm gonna do it in the veteran way, like I've always done with my Juneteenth program. Yep. But once I'm done with that, we're all gonna make some money off of it. We're all gonna have some fun with it. We're all gonna celebrate that. But I will not be denied this year. This black man will be speaking. And it will be in front of all of Delco because I'm calling it into existence now, because you can't get anywhere without it when we already know it. And I'm not bragging about it. I'm just tired of taking the old contrite way with human beings who are just the same as me. And I got to bow my chin into my chest when you've done nothing for my freedom. And I mean zero. CMPradio.net. Voice of Chester. Wonderful World of Rich Blye. See you on the flip side.